So we're here in Dubai, right in front of Chopard's booth here at Dubai Watch Week. But let me ask you a question. Minute repeater or tourbillon? Which would you pick? Well, for me, I would pick a minute repeater because music is a universal language and our wrist is the tourbillon. But guess what? With Chopard's latest release, the L.U.C Grand Strike, you don't have to choose. Because not only do you have a 1-minute tourbillon, you have a minute repeater and a grand sonnerie and petite sonnerie functionality. 686 movement components, there's a lot to dive into. Let's do it.
Chopard's most complex design ever, this new L.U.C Grand Strike is the fruit of over 11,000 hours of research and development, and it utilizes 10 proprietary technical patents, 5 of which were newly developed for this novelty. With this all in mind, let's run through all of the elements of this new watch. The Chopard L.U.C Grand Strike finds itself in a 43mm ethical 18-karat white gold case that is 14.08 millimeters thick. Personally, I prefer my more dressy watches to be more compact and slim. However, we do have to keep in mind that a highly complex 3-mode chiming tourbillon caliber comprised of 686 components is inside of this watch. On the right side of the case, you will find a slide as you normally would see on a minute repeater watch, albeit on the left side of the case usually. However, this slide does not activate the minute repeater. The minute repeater is actually activated by a strike work pusher that is integrated into the crown. So instead, this slide actually acts as a strike work mode selector where you can elect to have the watch set in grand sonnerie mode, petite sonnerie mode, or silence mode, because who's gonna want this watch to be automatically chiming while you're trying to go to sleep? You don't have to guess what mode the caliber is in, as there is a strike work mode indicator on the dial. It might take a second at first to find it because the full wonder of the caliber, its artistry and engineering is on full display on the dial side. It's a lot to take in and a sight to behold, but once you know that it's at the 12 o'clock position just beneath the LU Chopard branding, you will never forget that it's there. This white gold indicator reveals 1 or 3 letters beneath it depending on the mode. G for grand sonnerie, P for petite sonnerie, and S for silence. To the right of the strike work mode indicator at the 2 o'clock position is the watch and strike work power reserve indicator with 2 hands nestled within a single register to indicate each. Of course, at the center, you have your hours and minutes hands, and at the 6 o'clock position, you have a small seconds hand above the 1-minute tourbillon. As I've already said, the movement is a spectacle that can be fully viewed on both the front and back of the watch. The front side of the caliber is an intricate city of gears, wheels, indicators, chiming hammers, and of course the tourbillon mechanism. The back side is more of a static canvas that displays your more traditional striping and hand beveling, and a better view of the bridges, which are forged in German silver. German silver is known for its warmer hue that is almost like a pale gold that will further pleasantly patinate over time. This new in-house caliber LUC 0803-L bears the Geneva hallmark, impeccably hand-finished to the highest standards. But it's not just a pretty caliber, it's also very precise. COS chronometer certified to run within +6, -4 seconds per day. Who does that for a high complication watch like this? There are 2 separate dedicated barrels storing energy, one for the timekeeping functions and one for the chiming functions. With so many complications, you'd be forgiven for thinking it has a lower power reserve, but the manually wound caliber actually boasts a very admirable 70 hours of power reserve for its timekeeping and a minimum 12 hours of power reserve for the strike work mechanism in grand sonnerie mode. Okay, so what do all of these sonnerie modes mean? In grand sonnerie mode, the watch will automatically chime the full complement of hours and quarters as they pass. The petite sonnerie mode is less chiming intensive, automatically sounding the hours only at the 60-minute mark and solely the quarters every 15 minutes after. In the silence mode, no automatic chiming will occur. In this mode, should you wish to hear the time, you will need to manually activate the strike work via the integrated pusher in the crown. Of course, in any mode, you can activate this pusher to have the watch chime the time on demand. It's worth pointing out the length Chopard has gone to refine and tune the sound of the chimes. Chopard is known for using a sapphire gong that is combined with the sapphire dial crystal. So when the gong is struck, it produces a crystal clear chime that vibrates in concert with the dial crystal, channeling the sound outward and avoiding the typical dampening of the energy and sound other minute repeater designs would face. With high complications like this, many would be rightfully concerned with misusing or damaging the mechanism. But Chopard, through its various patented solutions, has engineered safeguards that protect against improper use of the strikework pusher integrated in the crown and the strikework mode selector. Lastly, the Chopard L.U.C Grand Strike is offered with 2 interchangeable straps that can be swapped easily with your hands, no tools required. The first strap is a hand-sewn gray alligator leather with a gray alligator lining, and the second a hand-sewn dark blue alligator leather with dark blue alligator lining. Both straps are secured to the wrist via a folding clasp in polished and satin-brushed 18-karat ethical white gold engraved with the L.U.C logo. Between the 10 patents, 686 movement components, the movement complications, and the high level of decoration performed on the movement, you would honestly need a feature-length film to run through it all. But the short of it is that the Chopard L.U.C Grand Strike is, in my personal opinion, a musical and chronometric masterpiece. Is the watch probably a little too big for my 6.5-inch wrist? Maybe. Is it too expensive for my personal budget? Definitely. This is one of those watches I understand from the outset will probably never be mine as much as I wish it could be. I could wallow in my sadness, but ultimately I just take pleasure in knowing a watch like this exists and will respectfully envy those around the world who can bring this watch into their collection. The Chopard L.U.C Grand Strike has a limited production of 2 to 3 pieces per year and is priced at approximately 700,000 Swiss francs. What do you think of the Chopard L.U.C Grand Strike? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the Time+Tide channel for all the latest watch news, reviews, and content. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.